Destiny Mills, a self-proclaimed mama's girl and a friend to many, was a lively 20-year-old girl who filled her life with art, flowers, shades of pink and purple, and the music of Bruno Mars. Destiny was kind, full of life, and deeply cared for those around her. She lived by a simple code: to live life to the fullest and to never judge others. But on March 24th, 2015, Destiny Mills was shot in an apartment. Her life was unfortunately stolen from her. Our goal is to walk through the 2015 Destiny Mills homicide to shed light on her story. Today, we are honoring Destiny Mills. I'm Nivea Murthy.
I'm Isa Sperry.
And I'm Sophia Stackpole.
Destiny was only a 20-year-old young woman with a huge family. She had 5 sisters, 3 brothers, and parents who adored her. She was described as a social butterfly in which she had the kindest heart and loved being around people. She attended both Northridge and Wayne High School, and while in school, she participated in cheer, dance, track, and a longtime favorite, soccer. Destiny was also very artistic. She loved to sing and even wrote music in her free time. She also loved fashion and even wanted to pursue it as a career choice. She was on the honor roll for years, and her mother described her as gifted. After graduation, she wanted to attend Wright State University and also worked at Burger King. In the upper right corner, this is a photo of Destiny on her way to soccer. The photo in the middle shows Destiny in her cheerleading uniform. The photo furthest to the right is Destiny painting, and the photo furthest to the left is Destiny dressing up when she was older.
We're about to listen to an audio clip from Linda Walker, Destiny's mother, and a huge help for our case. She was more than happy to help us honor her wonderful daughter. She gave us information, pictures, and vulnerability, and is even here tonight in the crowd. This is how Linda would like Destiny to be remembered.
Her 20 years here, starting, she did every activity you could think of. She never had a dull moment in her life. Whatever was offered, she would do. She would get herself in trouble to protect others. She went out her way to do that. She was just, anybody could count on her. And she never judged anybody. When she was in elementary school and like early junior high, she would work with the mentally handicapped, and she loved it. So she was always giving and always willing to be there for anybody.
Destiny was shot on March 24th, 2015 at around 12:30 a.m. There was a house party going on that day at 4909 Biddison Avenue in Trotwood, Ohio. Trotwood is a town located in the suburbs of Dayton, known for its high crime rate. There were people coming in and out of the apartment all day, some familiar to Destiny, some not. There was also a reported argument that led to a fight breaking out outside of the apartment with witness testimonies. About 10 to 15 bullets were shot through the door, one tragically striking Destiny.
We would like to preface that the following information we are presenting was from the police report, which we obtained through the official Trotwood Police Department.
We also obtained an autopsy report from the Montgomery County's coroner office that gave us a detailed description of where she was hit. With many conflicting opinions on where she was shot, this gave us clarity and the specificities that we needed. Destiny was either laying or sitting on the pull-out couch, and the bullet struck her in the right rib cage and exited through her left shoulder. She rode to the ambulance and was transported to the Good Samaritan Hospital, where she was unfortunately pronounced deceased at 1:16 a.m. on March 24th, 2015.
In an analysis of the crime scene, investigators located 14 fired 9mm casings by the front door. They found 6 bullets at the bottom of the front door, 2 that hit the PVC downspout, and 5 that hit the adjacent black wall. The bullets were shot at a northwest angle into the lower half of the bottom of the front door, aimed towards the living room where people were sitting. It was stated by Sergeant DeLong that the bullets were not meant for Destiny. We could not help but wonder who they were for, as they were aimed towards people sitting in the living room. The investigators also used a canine unit to track a trail of blood coming out of the Biddison complex to the southern Shiloh complex, but the results did not lead to anything.
We are in no way accusing anybody of anything. All of the information and names given have been stated in the police report, or have been stated by newspapers, reporters, or family and friends of Destiny. There is a long intertwining web of relationships in this case, and Destiny herself has 8 siblings. Destiny, at the time of her murder, was dating Michael Scott. Michael Scott had a brother named Keith Scott, who dated a girl named Audrey Blocker. Dwayne Curtis and Ronette Curtis are related to Audrey Blocker. Maudie Cook was Destiny's best friend for many years. There are also other controversies of other people being involved in the murder, but everyone is linked back to one of the 3 main families, Mills, Scott, and Curtis's. Everyone in purple was present in the apartment when Destiny was shot. Destiny herself, Michael, her boyfriend at the time, Keith Scott, Michael's brother, and Maudie Cook, Destiny's best friend.
These were some of the steps that we took on our research process. In early September of 2025, we began our initial research and started to share information among each other. In early October, we called Sergeant DeLong, who worked on the case a decade ago, and we also contacted Linda Walker, Destiny's mother. In mid-October, we obtained the official police report. Later that month, we spoke to Rebecca Grimes, who wrote an article regarding Destiny. In November, we gained Destiny's ex's court case, Michael Scott, and in January, we retrieved the autopsy report, and from then until now, we finalized our presentation.
This is an overview of the timeline of events leading up to the crime, the actual murder, and the subsequent investigation. March 23, 2015 was the lead up to a crime. A house party was occurring in 4909 Biddison Avenue all day. In the evening, Keith Scott and his ex-girlfriend, Audrey Blocker, had a physical altercation inside of the apartment. He pushed her face to the front door, injuring her mouth. At around 10 p.m., Keith and Michael Scott argued with unknown people in front of the apartment. At 10:30 p.m., their mom heard a loud argument coming from inside of the apartment. At 12:30 a.m., gunshots were fired into the apartment. At 12:37 a.m., police and medics were dispatched to the scene. Officer Hoff found Destiny unresponsive inside and Michael Scott was performing CPR. At 1:16 a.m., Destiny Mills was pronounced deceased. In the morning, a canine unit trailed the blood coming out of the Biddison complex to the Southern Shiloh complex. We will now discuss the following people of interest in this case. We once again clarify that all of the names we are about to present were directly obtained through the official police report.
One of the primary persons of interest is Michael Scott, Destiny's boyfriend at the time of her murder. Michael was said to have been abusive. He was also in the room when she was murdered, but he was cleared by the police. Michael is currently in prison for the murder of Joshua Hamilton, which is a seemingly unrelated case.
The 3 people in black were the most talked about in the police report. The first person is Ronette Curtis, Audrey's sister. Ronette is very protective of Audrey, and she was the only female in black and is currently still alive. The second person was Dwayne Curtis, Audrey's brother. Dwayne was seen wearing the same coat as one of the men in black. Jeffrey Miner, also known as Fat Fat, was known to hang out with Dwayne. He also stated in a Facebook post that the bullet was not meant for Destiny.
These are some of the theories regarding who could have killed Destiny and the events leading up to her death. We are no way trying to cause any accusations. These are all listed in the Trotwood Police Department's police report regarding her case.
This was the main theory that was constantly being reported on in the police reports. Keith and Audrey had a rough relationship, and Audrey was reported to have been at Keith's apartment that day, getting into an altercation that resulted in her head being hit into the door. Dwayne and Ronette came to pick her up, but before leaving, Dwayne admitted to hitting Keith. Ronette had also stated that they would be back after defending her sister. Hours later, the apartment was shot up and Destiny was killed. Later, investigation reaped a surveillance video that showed 3 people in black running up to the door, one shooting it, then leaving in the direction of the Shiloh apartments. Investigation of the door showed 10 to 15 bullet holes in and around the door. There were eyewitnesses of the gunfire, one being Melissa McCain, a neighbor. Dana Hammond was another neighbor who was able to pick out Dwayne from a lineup of multiple guys, stating that he was the one who did it.
The second prevalent theory was that Michael Scott was the one who killed Destiny. He was considered suspicious because when officers arrived at the scene, they caught him attempting to flee in a white Chevy 2006 Impala. He was also found uninjured despite being near the front door where gunshots were fired. Additionally, Linda Walker, Destiny's mom, discovered bloodstains on Destiny's Timberland boots while going through her belongings. These boots were retrieved from Maudie, Destiny's best friend, and returned to Linda by Destiny's friends after the shooting. If the boots were at the apartment, the police should have taken them, not Destiny's friends, which raised some scrutiny about if things were moved around the apartment prior to the police coming. Michael was also allegedly abusive to Destiny when they dated. Destiny's mom claimed that Destiny always introduced her boyfriends to her family, except for Michael. Destiny's mom did not know of Michael's existence until Michael messaged her on Facebook stating that Destiny had been shot. One of Destiny's co-workers also claimed that Destiny had received a black eye from Michael before. Expanding Michael's violent tendencies, on September 27, 2015, Michael Scott was sentenced to 22 years in prison for the killing of Joshua Hamilton in a bar in Huber Heights, Ohio. He assaulted Hamilton before fatally shooting him. In both the Destiny and the Joshua cases, there was an altercation prior to the shooting. Destiny was shot in the ribs and Joshua was shot in the back. We do not have specific information on the bullets that hit Joshua, and there is no further direct relation between Destiny and Joshua.
The current case status for the homicide of Destiny Mills is categorized as inactive as of 2019. This applies differently to the individuals and groups involved based on the results of the investigation and legal reviews by the Montgomery County Prosecutor's Office.
Officially, Michael Scott is categorized as a victim in the offense reports. While Destiny's family and some people expressed suspicions that he or others in the apartment were involved in a setup, investigators noticed these as conspiracy theories lacking evidence. He was never charged for this case, however, he was later incarcerated for an unrelated homicide in Huber Heights. Because this case is inactive and he's listed as a victim, there are no active proceedings against him.
The current case status for the three people in black, which was a group identified by witnesses in the police report. So for Dwayne Curtis, he was the individual identified multiple times by witnesses mentioned in the police report, and he was later killed in May of that year due to an unrelated shooting. Jeffrey Minor, also known as Jumpsuit or Fat Fat, was believed to be the third person fleeing from the scene and was also killed in a homicide of that year in the summer. Ronette Curtis is the only surviving member of this group. In June of 2019, the prosecutor's office refused criminal charges against her, ruling that there was not sufficient evidence to show that she aided or abetted the shooter during the commission of the crime. The case still remains inactive, primarily because the two individuals identified as the probable shooters, Dwayne and Jeffrey, are both deceased, and there is insufficient evidence to prosecute any surviving participants for aiding or abetting.
We would like to thank Linda Walker for assisting us in our research. She has been so vulnerable in giving us information about Destiny. We are so happy to have gotten into contact with her. We would also like to thank Beverly Wortham for giving us access to the police report, which gave us 150 pages of information that we were able to use.
We would also like to thank Sergeant DeLong for giving us advice and keeping an eye out for the important information. Thank you to Robert Schott for conducting the autopsy report and then giving us access to it.
We thank Rebecca Grimes for her assistance in researching newspaper articles. And finally, we thank our cold case advisor, Mr. Barry. From September to now, every bit of advice and encouragement he's given us has been nothing short of invaluable. Our research would not be the same without Mr. Barry.
Destiny's murder was a tragedy and should never have happened. And although Destiny may not be here with us physically, she continues to share her legacy throughout everyone she's impacted. Let us remember Destiny for who she was, an artist, a people lover, and most importantly, a caring and outgoing soul.
If you or anyone you know has further information for us, please contact Mason Cold Case at 513-444-8057 or coldcase@masonohioschools.com. If you have any information for law enforcement, please contact the Trotwood Police Department at 937-854-7200.
Thank you so much for your time to honor Destiny's story. We now open the floor to any questions.
Whose blood trail were they following? Was their shots fired back at people? Okay.
They never got to identify who the actual blood trail was.
Yeah.
But
They never got to actually identify whose blood trail it was.
Was there like shots fired back at the people that
Um,
got shot into the house?
Yeah, I think, yeah.
There were shots fired back. So they shot in.
Oh, sorry, no.
Nobody shot
Sorry, I was
back.
getting confused.
Okay,
No.
I'm just wondering, like, did they
Yeah,
walk through the
it
house?
was very interesting to see how that could have happened, but
Right, I mean, did somebody leave the house that was bleeding?
yeah, we don't have any knowledge of that, unfortunately.
Did the police ever say if like Michael was cooperative when they like talked to him at all?
No information was revealed about that, but we do know that he was attempting to flee the scene when the officers did arrive, as he was trying to flee in a car.
We also know that he was scheduled to take a lie detector test, and he never showed up for it.
In regards to the blood trail, do you know if it was ever tested to see if they could like get any type of DNA evidence from it?
We don't have any information on that, no.
We tried searching, but we couldn't find anything.
You guys reported that Michael Scott was inside the apartment when she got shot, right? So, how would he perhaps be like a person of interest if he was confirmed to be inside, but you guys like have like conclusive evidence for it to like be like an outside shot? Would it be like someone else that he hired to do it? Was it like an altercation they had earlier? Or like was it like a reported altercation that Destiny and her ex-boyfriend had earlier that day? Like is that what the screaming was, or like was there like any like attribution of that, or?
There was a theory by some police and some family members that Destiny had gotten shot inside of the apartment, and the shots outside of the apartment were used as a cover-up. But we aren't really sure if that theory makes a lot of sense, because the people who shot the shots through the door didn't like the people inside of the apartment.
So you said that she wasn't supposed to be the one that got shot, and I know there were a lot of other people present at the party. Were there any accounts of like what people, like who people thought was supposed to get shot? Like did they ever?
Keith and Ajane had an altercation prior to the shooting, so it was a possibility that Keith or Michael could have been the intended victim.
Was the video surveillance like to show the faces of the three people in black?
The video cut out right when the bullets were fired, so they weren't able to figure out who shot the bullets, which is why they couldn't be prosecuted.
Thank you.